valley. Relationships, current events, dream interpretations. We cover them and many more. There's so much in store. If you want to know everything happening in the valley, all we do is talk about everyday living in the valley. Turning to end to everyday living in the valley. All we do is talk about everyday living in the valley. Turning to end to everyday living in the valley.
Welcome to Everyday Living in the Valley, where I'm your host, Jess Alex.
And I'm your host, Mr. Distinguished. Relationships, current events, dream interpretations. We cover them, and there is so much more in the Valley. If you want more information on what's happening in the Valley, visit our website at truevibes.net. That's true, as in TRU, the word vibes.net.
If you like the content that we are producing, feel free to like our Facebook page, Everyday Living in the Valley. And we would like to remind you of our Valley giveaway. Details on that coming up. Let's talk about what inspires us.
You know what? Sometimes you just have to move like God already got you. What do you think, Alex?
Oh, wow. You know what? That's a true statement. I mean, if there's a job that you want, if there's like a project that you want to be involved in, if there's something that you just want to do for yourself, do it. You know, don't even act like it's not for you. Even if you feel like you don't have the experience, guess what? You probably do. You can turn those transferable skills into anything that you want it to be.
And don't be afraid to challenge yourself. I found that in the past, if your dream doesn't scare you, then it's probably not big enough.
That's true. You know what? I feel like sometimes we get in our own way. You know, you get inside your own head. But this is what I'm here to tell you. I want you to walk into everything that is for you. Walk into your purpose. Walk into what you know that is going to be for you. If you want it for yourself, go for it.
I think some people also wait for like big signs, miracles, and wonders to happen in their life. But I think if they really stop and pay attention, life is guiding you that way, but you're just not paying attention to the right stuff.
You know what? I have to agree with that. People like seem to look at things are just so far. Like if you want to go to school, right? You want to go to college, and yeah, for 4 years, that's a long time if that's something that you desire to do. But don't even look at it like that. If that's something that you want to do, just take it one class at a time. Be like, you know what? I just need to get past this English class. I need to get past this Spanish class. Break everything down into like little small goals and let it achieve up to what that big goal, what you want for yourself.
Because unfortunately, people sometimes don't go far enough and they stop right before they get to where they need to be at.
Absolutely. You know what? I know we both can say that there are some things that we have started and then be like, you know what? It's a lot of work. As a matter of fact, let's take this podcast, for instance. We were like, dude, I mean, we would talk about it, and then it was like, it's a lot of stuff that you got to do just to set up for a podcast. And then it was just like, I don't think we're going to be able to do it, but we persevered. We stuck to it, and we was like, you know what? Let's just keep going.
It's easy to get overwhelmed by things when you think about it too far in the future.
That's true. That's true.
Sometimes you got to just break things down into small, digestible segments.
Well, you become overwhelmed with things that's around you because, again, life be lifing.
Life be lifing.
So you got like, I mean, even if you just out here in this world, things happen every day. And sometimes it seems like one thing after the next, after the next, after the next. And then you just like, you know what? This is too much to even try to go this route. But go anyway. I am here to tell you, do not stop.
And also, I feel like some people be waiting to get themselves all the way together. Oh, once I get this part of my life all the way together, then I'm able to start on A, B, C, and D. But unfortunately, life doesn't work that way.
No, listen, I don't care how old you get, your life is just not going to be together exactly how you want it to be. It's not going to be perfect. There's never a perfect moment. The moment is now.
Moment is now. So what are you going to do?
Go for it.
Go for it. And don't be afraid to dream big, guys. This is something I really do stand by. Because, as just Alex could say, I'm one to think of things holistically.
Yes.
And sometimes I get overwhelmed
Yes.
just thinking about everything at one time.
What?
But when I just start breaking it down to
What?
small, achievable goals, realistic, achievable goals, then it makes me feel like, oh, wait a minute, I can accomplish this.
Let me say this, y'all. Mr. Distinguished does not bring this revelation about himself. Let me just say, he don't like to talk about himself.
I do not.
So the fact that he's even giving y'all this is huge.
Yeah, I bet it feels special.
I mean, really, because he don't do this. Now, he can read everybody else.
You know what? Just Alice is the same way. I don't know why she's sitting up here. Well, she would share moments of her life or whatever.
I do.
But she will and is able to read. You know how people just come up to you just randomly and just ask you for advice and encouragement or whatever. Like you're like that light to people, and you just attract people like moth.
I don't know.
You know what?
And those are true statements. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. And I think because I'm always going to look at things in a positive manner. I try to do that because we got too much negative stuff in this world. So we got to do the positive thing. But back to what Mr. Distinguished said earlier, is the fact that when you're able to recognize some things that you're doing wrong and then kind of break it down and be like, this is what I need to do to move forward. That's what I think is huge, when you're able to realize what you can do better. Go ahead, Mr. Distinguished. I like that. I do.
This is your Valley Giveaway. Your Valley Giveaway is brought to you in part by Nail Slay by Ray. We present to you our first Valley Giveaway. So just Alice, remind the people of what we're raffling.
So we are raffling off some bomb, fresh new set of nails. It can be your own nails, or you can get some acrylic, however you want to do. But we have Nail Slay by Ray. That's Manda Bullock. She's down at the Bomb Aesthetic. And here are the rules to qualify for the raffle. We need you to like and follow Everyday Living in the Valley Facebook page. You must invite 10 people to our page. Must enter one of the secret words broadcasted throughout the episode. Go to truevibes.net and click on Enter Valley Giveaway. We all have some epic stories when involving working with people. Isn't that right, Mr. Distinguished?
Absolutely right. And I've been fortunate enough to work in a corporate environment, and I've ran across all types of different things, different types of coworkers, different types of managers and management styles.
Tell us about it. I'm curious.
You curious? Well, let me tell you about this manager that I had. We're just going to call her Mavis.
Okay, Mavis.
So Mavis was the type of manager to try to make sure projects and things get done, or whatever it is, to appease the upper management. So she really wasn't about your personal growth and things of that nature. She was about more so how she can exploit and manipulate you. And she didn't mind pitting two employees against each other.
So she messy.
Messy is probably an understatement. So let me tell you about this time. Me, Mavis, and we're just going to call this other guy Kevin. So me and Kevin is on the same team, and we kind of do the same thing or whatever.
Okay.
So Mavis, there was this special project that came down, and she called me in her office, and she was like, "Mr. Distinguished, I want you to work on this project or whatever."
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, I'm excited. It was a pretty good, decent project or whatever.
Yeah.
So I would say like a couple of days later, I see that Kevin printed out something. It's like directions, instructions for this same project, and posted it in his cubicle. And I'm like, oh, this is interesting. I'm working on this project that you got posted on here. And he was like, really? Because Mavis just gave me this morning. And I was like, are you serious? And
Ooh.
so, yes, stuff like this happened multiple times throughout this particular career under the leadership of Mavis. And so Kevin was the type of person where he didn't care. He's going to say what he's going to say and don't really care how you feel. So he brought it up in one of our team meetings one day. Kevin was like, is it going to be me or is it going to be Mr. Distinguished? Who's going to work on this project, Mavis? And she didn't really know what to do or what to say or whatever.
But she created this conundrum.
She created this conundrum and really made you feel some type of way, put you at some type of emotional roller coaster.
So, in other words, I know all in your head. She was all kind of names.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I know.
Names that we can't say on this podcast.
Cannot say.
But
I
yeah.
can't imagine.
Oh, yeah. She was all.
Ooh. Ooh.
What if something like that happened with you? What would you do, just Alex?
You know what? I don't know.
And is this one of those events where you would go to HR or would you wait? Like, how would you handle something like this?
I don't like to do the HR.
I know.
thing.
I don't either.
But when it's jeopardizing my job, right, and it's interfering with what I'm trying to do, and I feel like you trying to do something, then yeah, I'm gonna go to HR. What we doing? As a matter of fact, I have to check myself because I have a mouth. I don't know who know me or know anything about just Alex, but I do have a mouth. Mr. Distinguished have one too.
I do not. This is just Alex. I don't know what she's talking about.
Yes, you do.
Mm-mm.
Yes, you do.
Don't do me.
You have one. So I need for people to know when he's upset, you are all kind of names in his head.
Oh, and just Alex, you are worse names than what I could ever think of. Just want to let you know that too.
Those are facts.
Well, guys, if you have a coworker chronicle experience that you would like to share, then by all means share it. Please visit our website at truevibes.net. That's true as in TRU, the word vibes.net. Click on contact us at Everyday Living in the Valley and fill out the form and click on Coworker Chronicles.
Coming up on the podcast, we have a new relationship segment. We have a story that you wouldn't want to miss.
And right after the break, guys, stick around for part 2 of our review of Bel-Air. This is so much more on Everyday Living in the Valley.
Living in the valley.
Hey guys, you want some bomb nails? Well, I have just a place for you. Nails Slay by Ray. Down at the Bomb Aesthetics, she'll get you just right. I've been going to her for some years and you definitely will not be disappointed. Manda Bullock, she's also listed on Facebook. That's MandaBullock. You can also give her a call at 678-209-8652. Thank you.
Your Valley giveaway secret word is elevation. That's elevation. Again, that's elevation.
Living in the valley. All we do is talk about every day. Living in the valley. Come on and tune in to every day. Living in the valley. All we do is talk about every day. Living in the valley. Come on and tune in to every day. Living in the valley.
Welcome back to Everyday Living in the Valley, where I'm your host, Mr. Distinguished.
And I'm your host, Just Alex. Relationships, current events, dream interpretation, we cover them, and there is so much more. If you want more information on what's happening in the Valley, visit truevibes.net. That's true, TRU, the word vibes.net. Opportunities for advertisement, visit our website for details, truevibes.net. That's true, TRU, the word vibes.net. Mr. Distinguished, remember that time when you and your mom was leaving the gym and that guy approached you?
Yeah, it was very interesting. We wasn't actually leaving the gym. We was actually about to start the workout.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So we had this guy. They didn't really approach me. He was approaching my mom. I was already at the gym and my mama was pulling up.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy was walking with my mama to the gym entrance, right?
Right.
And so this was, let's just say, the Friday before Mother's Day weekend. Basically, he was trying to get her to go to some type of Mother's Day banquet or whatever he was sponsoring, or his organization that he was involved with was sponsoring.
Okay.
And so I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting or whatever. And so he looked at me and recognized me immediately. And I'm not really good with names and faces and things of that nature.
Right.
And so, but he was able to like pinpoint, like, oh, you used to be the co-worker of da 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 da. And I'm like, oh, okay,
Nice.
So
you know me.
being in the church community, I'm used to people just coming up to me because I'm a musician, and people always see me, but I don't necessarily know who they are because they're sitting in a congregation. So I'm just thinking it's something like that.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, you sing, don't you? I just had a feeling that he sang or do something musically.
Something.
And he was like, yeah, he sings and he plays the saxophone. I was like, okay, let's exchange information.
Yeah, let's get together.
Yes, I have this podcast coming up, and if you have any projects or songs that you're working on, then possibly, I can play it on the podcast.
Right.
And he was like, okay, yeah. So we exchanged information, and at that time, I wasn't really, keen to what was going on, but I noticed that he was really trying to get my mama's Facebook page, her information, her contact information. And I was just kind of like a second thought of something like that. So, I'm like, okay, I got a new contact, who can play the saxophone or come sing with us or whatever. So this is what I'm thinking, working out, whatever. And
of course.
And then it finally clicks in my head, oh my God, I think I know who this guy is.
So who was he?
He was the cousin of a coworker that I used to work with. And I was thinking, because the last name that he had was the same name of this singer that's kind of famous in the area. And I'm like, oh, that must be his mama. That's what I'm thinking. I think that was his mama or whatever. And so I get in contact with him after we're done with our workout.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I think I do remember your name. And are you related to da 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 da? And he was like, oh, yes, that's my ex-wife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what he said. That was my ex-wife. No, not ex-wife. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That was his wife, and they were separated. And that's why he was inquiring.
That's a no-go.
With my mom.
And immediately, what was your thought? He almost got him, y'all. Almost got him. He almost said some words.
No, I didn't.
Listen.
Don't do me.
I know it was a wrap. Listen, I know the conversation was done. It was like, all right, see you next lifetime.
Yeah, I guess to see you next lifetime. Go ahead, delete this content off my phone.
Don't call me.
That's it.
That's a wrap. That is a wrap.
I mean, really, how would you
try to get at your mom? Oh, that's a no-go. Nah, you ain't trying to get at my mom, sir.
Through me.
Nah, we ain't doing that.
I mean, but he actually thought it was cool of him
and actually telling you yeah, we're separated. Sir, that's not, you're not divorced. So what we doing? No, that's a no-go. I knew it was it. I know that was a wrap.
That was dead to me.
I know. Have you heard from him since then?
Mm-mm.
You're not going to.
I'm not going to.
Blocked.
Dead. Unalive again.
Listen, I was hollering.
Here go just Alex when I'm telling her to.
I did. Listen, it was just funny to me because he always saying things happen to me, and it was just funny that it happened to him, and he was just like, oh, he's just gonna have to lose my number. Like, that's a no-go. We're not even doing this. This is not even a thing. Like, let's just keep it moving. Let's keep going.
I just can't believe he thought that was cool.
Oh, absolutely he did. There was no shame. Oh yeah, that's my wife. We just separated right now. And the fact that he said wife, not ex-wife, or we're in the process, and he was just like, and I'm trying to get at your mom.
So
sir,
you trying to do what?
What? Oh, okay. Let me help you out. No, block. Let me help you out. Block immediately. Goodbye.
Ooh, child.
I'm telling you.
Loss of words.
It happened before, you guys. Even though he talked about this particular segment, it was the first cruise we went on. And the guy, one of the workers, was trying to get at Mr. Distinguished Mom. And Mr. Distinguished, the guy was trying to dance with his mom, and he immediately like slid between the two of them.
I don't remember that.
Oh, I remember. One, I seen something like transpire, but you actually came over. Was like, oh, he thought he been talking to my mom, and that was a no-go. So, and he was adamant on it, and the guy and your mom was like, oh, he's so sweet, and you just like, nah.
You know what? And the funny thing is, a lot of times my mama is so oblivious in these situations. Like, she don't know what's going on or what's happening.
No, she's sweet.
She'd be like, really?
Yes, she do. Yes, she do.
Like, yes, Mom, really.
Yes.
I didn't see that.
Mr. Distinguished not gonna let not if he right there. Nah. If you're trying to get at his mom, listen, you better talk to her directly because you ain't going through him because he ain't even.
I mean, it would be the same with your mom too.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't act like it's just me.
It wouldn't be.
And some of y'all too. Y'all listen. That needs to be like something we post on our Facebook page to see.
We do.
You know,
let's see what you all feel about it.
How they will react in that particular situation.
How would you all feel about someone trying to go through you to talk to your mom or even your dad? How would you feel about that? Would you be okay with that? And if you really know this person, like, let's say you know of this, as for instance, the guy that told Mr. Distinguished, like, yeah, you know, oh yeah, that's my wife. Like, we separated though, but that's my wife. No, sir, goodbye. Goodbye. Leave me alone. That's it. I'm done.
That's it. That's a wrap. So, Alex, last week we started the sitcom Bel-Air, reviewing it.
We did, y'all.
So before we get into that, we just want to go ahead and give you a spoiler alert.
Absolutely.
Let you know if you have not watched this series and you want to watch it. If you don't want us to give away anything, then, you know, maybe just fast forward through this segment.
Yeah.
But come back, though.
Absolutely come back. You know, so I know we touched bases on it. We didn't really go all into detail the way that we really planned on doing.
I think we got probably 20 minutes into the episode.
We did. And we did talk about when the episode first started and how Will was sitting on the throne. Like, and he had like his crown on and like he's the king of Philly. So
yeah, we was pretty much discussing how they were setting up the series for us and how they had the little nuggets referencing the original series and how for us as millennials, how it felt nostalgic. It
did.
You know,
it really
felt
did.
like, oh yes, I do remember that. And, you know, you just kind of like just have a moment.
I mean, when you break down, when you're looking at each character, right? And you're looking at how, okay, Will was immediately sent to Bel-Air because of the gun charge that was dropped through his uncle. So just looking at how is Will life in Bel-Air so far? Okay, you got somebody that, and you put yourself in their shoes because you're able to actually relate. Like, let's say you're going to a new school, you're going to a new job, you're going to somewhere new. How are you feeling? Like,
and especially like if it's all of a sudden, so you didn't really have time to prepare in your mind for this. It just happened, you know, in the middle of the night, so to speak.
And you can tell like he has not really visited his aunt, uncle,
He's
and
familiar
cousins.
with them at some aspect. You know, he know what they look like. And they met before, but he never seen Jeffrey.
No, he didn't know who Jeffrey was.
And we know Jeffrey was been in that family for a while.
Yes,
and he didn't even know how they were living.
No, because I mean, he was surprised when they pulled up to the house. He was like, "This how y'all living?
This y'all house?
This y'all house?" I mean, going into it, you think about it. Look at his room, like. That's probably the size of an apartment, you know? So it's just the changes of leaving Philly to going to Bel-Air. That, I think that was a lot. And when you look at it, I mean, in some kind of ways, he did feel kind of down in a little bit
He did.
Maybe a little depressed. I'm going to even go as far as say that, a little bit depressed.
Well, he was very anxious and adamant of trying to get back to his old life.
Right.
Even though he knew deep down inside that wasn't good for him, that wasn't a good fit for him.
Know that,
his uncle knew that and reminded him of that.
Right. And he just felt like his life would have been so, even though this guy is out trying to kill him, unalive. Let's say unalive. Unalive him. He still want to go back to Philly. Like, this ain't it. This is not it. And look at the first day of school.
Oh, yes.
Let's break that down. Okay.
Because there's a big difference between Will when he was in Philly in school.
Right. Everybody was dapping him up.
Yeah, dapping him. He was the man.
In Philly, he's the king. Like, oh, okay.
That's what he was accustomed to.
This is the baller. He get to Bel-Air. Okay. He walks in the locker room and your cousin is rapping with a lot of white people. And they are throwing the N-word around. Okay. And Will, from where he's from, like, hey, that's fighting words.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
And then Carlton was just like, man, don't steal my thunder.
Listen, don't do that. I'm the king here.
I'm the king.
And this is okay.
And Carlton was trying to make sure that Will didn't embarrass him.
Right.
At this school.
Right. He did. Carlton was a butthole.
Did you like Carlton when he first got on the screen?
Listen, let me tell y'all, I could not stand Carlton with everything in me. I was actually imagining myself just beating him up. I did. I had thoughts of beating him up because he, to me, was an Uncle Tom.
Yeah, and I guess he would play victim
Absolutely.
to certain situations where you just really felt like he wasn't a victim.
Well, to me, Carlton was a person who was not able to be who he needed to be. Carlton was one way around his friends. He was one way around his family. But when he's by himself, he was in chaos. And I feel like, okay, let's look at when Will actually walked in and seen Carlton doing drugs. Cocaine, crack cocaine. Okay. So Will was like,
I know what that is.
Like, what you doing? And Carlton like, oh, this just my anxiety medication. And Will like, yeah, right. Like, I'm not that stupid.
I know what this is.
Yeah, like, so when you look at it, but that was Carlton's escape of dealing with everything that he has to be straight A student. He was the captain of the lacrosse team.
Yeah, I think Carlton felt like there was an expectation on him, his life, who he should hang around,
who he needed to be,
and that probably came from his parents.
And let me say this: Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv, even though that's Carlton parents, knew nothing about Carlton.
That's true. Well, let's put it like this: Carlton was really good at being a chameleon.
He was.
He was. He knew what to say, what to do, and in certain moments.
But you know what, though? When you look at all three of their children, they really did not know them. Even with Hillary. Okay, Hillary was a influential person that's dealing with she had like her little
had a catering
but
a cooking show
but she did her own little thing, and Aunt Viv didn't even understand that.
Aunt Viv had a different vision for what Hillary was trying to do, and Hillary had her own vision for what she wanted to do.
That's true.
And so Aunt Viv was trying to extend her vision onto Hillary.
Projecting.
And Hillary is like, no, this is how I want to do it.
Right.
Yeah, and sometimes you got to be that way in regular life.
Well, parents need to understand that we have to stop projecting on what we want our kids to do.
Exactly.
We do that a lot. And I learned early on, I can't project nothing onto my children. Listen, because kids have a mind of their own. And I am glad that my mom and dad did not project onto me. But I want you parents to understand, let your child be who they want to be, and just as long as it's healthy.
Exactly.
Let them live in that moment, because when you look at Will, when Will came, they was a little bit more lenient with Will.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, Will, it's what you want to do. But with their children, it was just like,
there was an expectation.
Yeah, most definitely.
And also because, he was in the middle of a campaign as well, too.
And he was looking at his image,
Yes.
What it's going to be like for my family. But he lost touch of who he was, I think, just from doing this campaign. So when Will first got to the house, right, they was having a just something dealing with the campaign, and Uncle Phil was kind of like, he really didn't want Will to talk. He really didn't Will run his mouth too much.
Well, Will was about to point out what his uncle did for him, getting him out of jail, and that was illegal.
Yeah.
And so he was right in front of the police commissioner.
That's true.
When Will was about to say all of this, so that's why he was trying. I would have deflected him too. Go over there and eat, nephew.
He basically was like that. Listen, if you all looked at it, he was basically like, "All right, Will, go on over there and fix your plate." Yeah. I think then he asked Ashley to go over with. Yeah. Go ahead with your cousin.
Go over there and eat.
Go ahead and eat. And when you look at it, just looking at the show, the first 2 episodes, when you ask yourself, did Will really want to, what would he be if he didn't leave Bel-Air?
Exactly. Like what I was saying in the last podcast episode, that it was probably necessary for him to go through what he went through.
I think so.
To be where he's at right now.
The growth. And I think,
because Will didn't want to leave Philly.
No, he did not.
And he needed something in his life to encourage him to step out his own box that he was not willing to step out on his own.
Now, what was kind of interesting to me also was, even though they didn't say anything, they mentioned it in the first 2 episodes, was, Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil was like, we owe this to Will because of what happened with his dad. So that left a cliffhanger. And I'm like, what happened to the dad?
What happened with the dad?
Well, what's going on with dad? So, that was also like, okay, I'm curious to see what is going to happen.
So I think his dad was named, Lou or something like that?
It was Lou, I believe. I believe it was Lou.
What was your favorite moments in the first 2 episodes?
One of them was when I seen Will really be like, I'm in this new place, but let me make it into me.
Yes. Let
me embrace this as hard as this is. Like, he did his jacket the inside out after they, Carlton friends did some things, and he was just like, okay, well, I could just do this. And he did do that in the original episode, in the original show as well. But I just like how he made it more about, let me just do this for me. But he's also a caring person too.
He is, even though he went through what he went with Carlton or whatever.
Right.
You could tell that he still cared or whatever, but he probably couldn't make it look like he cared as much as he actually did. But Will actually did care for Carlton. I agree. And the rest of his cousins.
I agree with that.
But he didn't want to make it look like that. Nah. Well, guys, coming up after the break, we do have the relationship segment, and we have a story that you don't want to miss.
Looking to book a cruise or general traveling tips? Stick around and I will get you right.
Living in the valley.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Nails Slay by Ray. Go ahead and book your appointment today.
Living in the valley.
Hey guys, you want some bomb nails? Well, I have just a place for you. Nails Slay by Ray. Down at the Bomb Aesthetics, she'll get you just right. I've been going to her for some years and you definitely will not be disappointed. Manda Bullock, she's also listed on Facebook. That's MandaBullock. You can also give her a call at 678-209-8652. Thank you.
Your Valley giveaway secret word is journey. That's journey. Again, that's journey.
Living in the valley. All we do is talk about every day. Living in the valley. Come on and tune in to every day. Living in the valley. All we do is talk about every day. Living in the valley. Come on and tune in to every day. Living in the valley.
Welcome back to Everyday Living in the Valley, where I'm your host, Jess Alex.
And I'm your host, Mr. Distinguished. Listen, relationships, current events, dream interpretations, well, we cover them here in the Valley, and there is so much more. If you would like some relationship advice, or if you have a dream that you would like us to interpret, then go to our website, truevibes.net. That's true, S-N-T-R-U, the word vibes.net, and click on Contact Us at Everyday Living in the Valley.
Well, guys, let me tell you about this time where somebody really just had me messed up.
I just know you lying to me.
Ooh, child, they got me messed up.
She really did try it.
They got me messed up.
She really said that?
Ooh, child, I just tell you, these folks just really got me messed up.
So, guys, let me just let you know that sometimes things happen and people really have you messed up. Mr. Distinguished and I decided that we were going to order some shirts, right? And this is a small black business. And we was like, okay, I said, I know someone. Let's go ahead. Let's order from this person and everything should be fine. So I reached out to the person and, we gave her like the print on what we wanted and the color of the shirts. And so when she came back with not necessarily finished, but this is how it's going to look, Mr. Distinguished didn't even he just exited out the conversation.
I just knew she was lying.
He exited out the conversation, y'all. He checked out. So I'm the one that's trying to be mediator. I'm like, this should be okay. This should be fine.
Here she is texting me, well, I ain't hearing nothing.
I knew why. Let me tell y'all something about Mr. Distinguished. When you ask him something and he don't really respond, he ain't with it. Just let you know that. If you ever wonder, like, why he ain't responding, that's a no-go. He's not with it. So I said, okay, just go ahead and do the shirts. Okay, go ahead. I was like, it don't look that bad. Go ahead. So I get the shirts and listen.
Woo child.
The shirt had a pocket on it, which is something that we didn't ask for. And the part that's supposed to be in the middle was actually on the side boob. So it was like...
Not only that, but if you go to our Facebook page, you will see the Everyday Living in the Valley logo. And so this person decided to put a block behind the logo. Yeah. Because they felt like the block was needed for the logo to show more.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not what we wanted or... Absolutely.
And so Mr. Distinguished said, she just started doing shirts like 2 hours ago.
I did.
He did. And I was like, no. And I paid her for the shirts, y'all. I did. I paid her $20 per shirt.
That's better than me.
Did. I paid her $20 per shirt. Okay. Fast forward. All right. We had Father's Day come around. And so I was like, clearly you can't mess this up. This has to be the time where the shirts are going to be right. So I seen her posting, advertising, and
here go me. You sure you about to go back through this?
And I did. I paid $30 for this one shirt. She asked what color I wanted. I let her know low favorite color, which is red. And she was like, okay. And when she showed how it would look, I said, oh, that looks pretty good.
In the picture.
Mm-hmm. So we got back. Me and Lo had just got back from a vacation, from a cruise. And we get the shirt. And Lo hands me the bag with the shirt. It was a nice little bag. She put the shirt in. I pulled out the shirt. Y'all, the background was peeling off. Like, just like it's a stencil. It
Like
just,
an adhesive.
it really was.
Like a sticker.
Like it was taped on. Listen, I was furious.
Did you cuss the girl out or something?
Listen, I tried my best. So Mr. Distinguished know me. And a lot of people don't know this side of just Alex. They know the sweet side of me.
The white girl.
I can text you and be very cordial in the text. I can be like, hey, what is this? What's going on? Because the shirt is peeling off. She decided to call me. Wrong. Do not, because there's no in between for me.
There's none.
I don't know how to be like, just calm. I go from 0 to 100
very quickly, y'all.
So she get on the phone and I just like, what is going on? Like, why the shirt peeling up?
Is that what you actually said though?
It's not. I cannot say exactly but I will tell you this. When she said, all you have to do is get the parchment paper and get the iron and just iron it back on. Listen.
Dead.
I'm
I'm
hit
sorry.
the roof.
Unalived. Ain't no way. I wish Walmart.
I hit the roof. I said, no, ma'am. I will not do this.
Well, I know you got your money back, right?
Listen, I had to say something about getting my money. It was not offered and did not want to say anything about getting my money back. That is bad business. Therefore, moving forward, please do not ask me to order anything from you if your stuff is not together.
Wait, let's go back. Didn't you go to your mama house with that shirt on?
Listen, Mom, the original shirt that me and Mr. Distinguished ordered
For the podcast.
Let me just say this. My mom, my oldest daughter, Destiny, and my stepdad went in on me. I showed my daughter first, and she was like, Mama, that shirt ugly. And she was just, and I immediately called Mr. Distinguished because I needed him to hear this. Now, my oldest, y'all, she don't used to say, now she's very vocal about stuff. But she was just like, But when my mama came and she seen that shirt and my stepdad, and he was like, and you wore it in public? And
Were they asking why the logo blurry?
They was like, why the logo is on one of my breasts? It was, listen, y'all.
When I seen that pocket, it was a wrap for me.
The pocket, when he was supposed, they asked, I actually wore the shirt around some other people, other family members, and they were saying what was wrong. The kids, they was like 10 and 11. They probably been older than that because I think they're older than Kalia. So they had to be like 13, 14. And they was like, ooh, that shirt ugly. And everybody, my cousins, they was, ooh, ugly. So this is what I'm saying.
You know what, my mama, you even wore it here when we was recording.
And your mom was like,
this shirt is ugly.
It's ugly. So, and let me tell y'all something about Mr. Distinguished. If something is not right, he not giving you no, okay, we gonna move forward. He not gonna do it. He's most definitely a perfectionist, in which nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But you're not gonna give him no anything and think he's gonna wear it.
Did you try to get your daughters to wear it?
I did. So the shirt that I had for Mr. Distinguished,
because she already knew I was about to wear that.
I knew he wasn't. So I was gonna give it to my oldest, Destiny. She said no. My youngest is 11, and she said no. So everybody was saying the shirt was ugly.
Then you was trying to give it to your youngest to just sleep in or whatever?
And she didn't want to sleep in it. It was just, it was all a no. I just want y'all to understand. Listen, businesses out there, small businesses, whatever. Make sure your stuff is together. If you are not doing stuff right, give people their money back. And move on. Just say I don't have it. But I do want y'all to know that with the person who I ordered the second shirt, it's the same person, but she had other people call her and tell her their shirt was messing up too.
Did she tell them to put the parchment paper in the iron on
And
it?
she was telling the other person she was gonna fix it for them, but she didn't. I don't think she tried to fix it for me. I was like, I don't want you to fix nothing. It's just a no-go. But I do want y'all to know that coming up, we do have some travel tips.
Okay.
And it's mostly dealing with travel with people who have some money and who don't mind just going somewhere new. I think that's so important. I'm not going out of town to eat at Burger King.
Yeah.
And McDonald's. We did have someone that tried to go out of town with us and eat at Burger King and McDonald's. But anyway, just saying, this is travel tip number 2. When you are going out of town and you know that you're going somewhere, save up some money and just do something different. Step outside your comfort zone and try a new restaurant.
Yeah.
I don't want to try something that's right here in Columbus, Georgia. I want to try something that's in that state that's different. Always try to do that. And just don't have no broke people with me. I mean, it's a shame when you travel with people that's like that. It's pretty hard. Now, don't get me, I'm not saying that I got the most money. I know Mr. Distinguished not saying that. But what we're saying is you can really travel on a budget and eat really well.
That's true.
I mean, I take multiple trips a year, y'all. I don't make the most money in the world, but you can cut out some things and save up some money and just do some nice stuff for yourself. I mean, we had one person that was trying to get us to eat out. Trying to get us to cook, get some breakfast food to cook, and we was on the stand overnight. Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah, that's a no-go. We don't do that. Not an overnight trip. So I'm just saying, y'all, when you're traveling, save up some money, and in that way, you're able to, go out to eat at somewhere different. Just try some different stuff. So that is my travel tip for today.
Well, guys, it's time for the moment you've been waiting on. It's our newest segment of Everyday Living in the Valley, our relationship segment. And I just want to go ahead and throw out this disclaimer. The story we're about to tell you involves true events, but the names have been changed to protect the individual identities.
Absolutely. Let's get into it with Johnny, Susan, and Karen.
Ooh, child.
So the first thing we're going to talk about is we plan to get together and just go out. Let's have like a nice little lunch. So we decided to meet up at like this Mexican restaurant, right? And it was supposed to be me, Mr. Distinguished, Susie, and a mutual friend of ours. So all 4 of us friends, we want to get together. We want to talk, laugh, and catch up because, we don't get to do that often. So me, Mr. Distinguished, and our other mutual friend, we got there. We was the first ones to get there. So we asked for a table of 4 because it's supposed to have been 4.
And of course, they're like, oh, yeah, we got you.
Yeah. I mean, it was no problem. We was like, okay, thank y'all. Nice. So we got there. They sat us down. We were seated. It wasn't a long wait. They put some chips, sauce on the table, stuff. We was ready. Okay, Susie gets there. Susie walks in with Johnny. Johnny is Susie's husband. Okay. We immediately are taken aback because we didn't know. Johnny was coming.
We sat down on a table of 4.
For 4. Now, mind you, now we're 5. Okay. So we was looking like, oh, what going on here? Like, who invited Johnny? So then we have to ask the waitress. It was a waiter. Was it a waiter?
I don't remember, but whatever it was,
our table.
Whatever it was a problem.
Listen, they were ticked off at us. It was like, this is the middle of rush. It was on a Saturday, and I get it. It was a Saturday. It is busy. They did not like that we needed to switch up to sit at a different table.
Y'all told us 4 tables.
Y'all told us 4 people.
4 people.
And now you talking about 5. Okay, so we sit down. Okay, we switched up, and we were just like, sorry. We were trying to be nice. Oh, my apologies. I'm sorry.
They weren't hearing none of that.
Yeah, it was just a wrap. They were just like attitude. And then the waitress that were waiting on us, now we had a different waitress, and she was just like,
y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all are a problem.
It was just like, we just really messed up everything, which,
their
again,
whole operation.
It wasn't our fault. So while we're sitting down and we're just chit-chatting, waiting to get our order, in comes Karen. So we looking like, who is this?
Ooh, child.
And Susie say, oh, I work with Karen. I invited Karen to come.
Well, yeah.
We see her like, wait a minute, hold up.
Tell us none of this.
So not only did you bring Johnny, you done brought Karen. We ain't got no. What is this? What is going on? I didn't know that it was an invite everybody thing. So we all looking crazy. We get our order. Karen, I don't know if Karen didn't have enough money to eat or whatever, but Susie had offered to pay for Karen food, but Karen like, no, I'm not gonna eat anything. So we all, we sitting at the table. Karen didn't order no food, y'all. So Karen just sitting there. I think she drank a cup of water or something.
Now, how about when Johnny invited me down?
So Johnny asked Mr. Distinguished to come down and chit chat with him. And I see this transpire. So I was just like, I wonder what they talking about. So I already knew in my head I was going to ask Mr. Distinguished, what do y'all talk about?
And it's really hard to describe because Johnny doesn't really talk that well.
It's broken up. Listen, I'm not just saying that just to be funny. We don't know what you're saying, sir. We didn't know what he was saying. Even when he was at the table and we was all just communicating, he was looking weird. It was awkward, and it was just like,
I don't know if he was trying to size everybody up.
and I think so.
Like, I could beat you up. I could beat you
Or
up.
I see that this person got a mouth. Well, anybody that really, really knows just Alex,
You do have a mouth.
I have a mouth.
And yes.
And will say something.
And will.
I don't back down.
Unapologetic.
Listen, I'm just always like that.
Always ready.
I am.
And sometimes be looking for it.
And do. Unfortunately, I don't know why I'm like this, y'all. But it was just, he was weird. He made the whole thing weird.
So this was my first encounter with Johnny.
Yes.
So later on, it got weirder.
It did. So we decided that we was going to go to a restaurant in Atlanta.
A nice Italian restaurant.
Love this restaurant.
We've been there before.
We have.
Frequented here.
We have, and we always had amazing service. So we was like, okay, let's go. Let's do this.
So we get over there to their house, Johnny and Susie's house, because that's when we all agreed to meet up at.
Right.
And so I walk in, and just Alex walks in, and Lo, which is just Alex's husband, also walks in.
Right.
And so when we all walking in, he's looking at Lo, and he's looking at me like, Mr. Distinguished, why you bring another man to my house?
He did.
And I was like, this is...
We were all confused.
Yes.
We
were at first thinking he was joking.
I did. Because Mr. Distinguished, like, he kind of giggled. And me, I was like, oh, okay. But again, we thought he was joking.
We did.
And when we realized he was for real, that's when Susie was like, no, that's just Alex's husband. He was like, oh. And I was just sitting here like, oh, you stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, so you one of them.
Yeah, I mean, it was...
And it just went down.
There wasn't really nothing to, like, trigger this moment. Nothing really happened. We just walked in the house, y'all.
All we did
in the
was
living
walk in
room.
the house. Listen. And when I say it went downhill.
It continued to go down.
It did.
And down.
So the ride up, we was like...
Yeah. So I drove.
You did. And Lo sat in the front. I sat on the end in the back. Susie was in the middle, and then Johnny was on the other end.
Okay.
So in the back seat. And
We
was like, pull up the menu, right? Look at it because y'all never been there before, and just see what you like. I mean,
familiar with the menu.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we get to the restaurant. We learned from the first time we had to do reservations. At this particular restaurant, you do not just say you're going to pop up. You do reservations. So that's the type of, environment. Just give you an idea of the restaurant. So we got there at our, time, and, it was no issues. We were seated.
Yeah.
And so they get the menu, and they just, I don't know. They was lost. They was like, there's so much on here. And
Here go me. Didn't they look at this on the way up here?
Listen. And it was just like, what? I mean, y'all had enough time to look. I mean, because it's
2 hours.
Yeah. I mean, it's a ride up this road, and it's in Buckhead. So y'all know what y'all want? I mean,
what's the problem?
And we was like, well, don't you do Olive Garden? Oh, no, I don't do that. I don't do Olive Garden. I don't do that.
So we're familiar with this restaurant, so we know what kind of appetizers we want to get.
We know exactly what to get.
So we ordered two of the same.
We ordered two of the same appetizers just so we could have enough, since it was like 5 of us. And we absolutely love this appetizer that we ordered. And it's like a trio of different things. And so we were, as soon as it hit the table, we dig in. But Johnny was like looking, his face was all scrunched up, and we didn't know what was going on.
Everything okay, Johnny?
Yeah. We ended up saying, is everything okay? And Johnny was like, he just really didn't say much. So Susie spoke up and said, oh, he not used to this fancy stuff. And we was like,
bread?
What, bread? And she was like, he not used it. The bread kind of hard. And I was like,
oh, he's just used to the slice loaves of bread.
Light bread.
Yeah.
Just some plain old white bread. And
that was the only acceptable bread.
And I was sitting there like, I mean, okay, so I understand what you're not used to, but try it.
Try it.
It's good. It's really good. And yeah, he would not touch nothing on it. He just sat there. And so he decided to order like 2 glasses of wine or something. And so the food comes out. And
what did he decide to order again?
He ordered some salmon.
At an Italian restaurant?
At an Italian restaurant.
Oh,
Let's just say that.
All right.
Now, we all know at an Italian restaurant, salmon going to cost a lot because that's not their specialty. Normally, you get some pasta, some chicken and pasta, some Alfredo. Okay, that's what you could get, Alfredo.
Yeah, at an Italian restaurant.
Yes. So, he did the salmon, and he just stared at the plate. And so we were like...
He was offended by the portion sizing.
He was. And called the manager over. Well, first the waiter. And
you ordered something you didn't really like.
I didn't like it. He used up all of the things that I could do to just say, like, I can't do this. So the manager came, took the plate.
They weighed it in the bag.
Brought it back and said, this is the right size, sir. Meanwhile, I'm cringing.
You scooted your chair over.
I did. And so did Susie.
Wasn't that her husband?
That was her husband.
She scooted her chair over too?
Susie scooted her chair over towards me. I scooted my chair over closer towards Lo. Meanwhile, Lo eating his food, baby. He had no care in the world of what y'all got. I don't care what Johnny and Susie over here doing. I'm going to eat my food. Mr. Distinguished was sitting over there closer to Lo, and he was like giggling.
Yeah.
I'm dumping salt and pepper on this doing stuff Parmesan, that I got.
Yeah.
Because in Parmesan cheese, because
she's trying to change the flavor profile
because it wasn't there.
Working.
It wasn't there,
and she couldn't take it back because Johnny done used up all. He done
messed it up.
He used up all of the,
everything because he complained about everything. thing.
I'm sure y'all know somebody, y'all take them out and just complain about everything.
So check time, right? Check time come out. All right. Johnny and Susie. Susie is livid. Oh my God. You ordered 2 drinks. That was $10 a piece. That's $20. Our meal is $100. And you know we could have did with that $100. We could have bought some groceries at the house. And I'm just sitting here like, oh my God.
Well, y'all did order salmon.
Both of y'all. And she had to share part of her salmon.
She was feeding some of his food.
To make him. And then she was like, Dad, I could cook salmon at the house. And, I could get this big old... Ma'am, this not at home, okay? Listen, that's why I say be careful who you go somewhere with, because everybody just, It was that whole scenario. So,
isn't it time for dessert?
It is time for, so before we actually left, we like to go ahead and place our order for our dessert.
So we can just get to the place and pick it up and go on with our business.
That's it. So Susie and Johnny couldn't, for some reason, I don't know.
Couldn't figure out how to
use the website to order the dessert. So I was like, okay, I'll order it. You just give me the cash and we'll just go from there. And which is what was done. So we get to the place to pick up the desserts. So we decided to let the men go ahead and get out and get the dessert.
Johnny didn't want to go out.
He did not. Yeah. And Susan was like, if you don't get on out,
get out this
Low automatically knows. Like,
I'm gonna get out.
I'm gonna get out. Yeah. He know I'm not gonna get out.
Yeah.
So and Mr. Distinguished always gets out.
Yeah.
So
we're headed to this place to pick up our dessert.
Right.
So we go to where we normally pick it up.
Right.
It wasn't there, or the associate wasn't there at the moment or whatever.
Right.
So we're like, oh my God. And so Johnny, he said something. There was a girl or something there.
Yes.
I forget what happened. Oh, he was like, you ain't gonna talk to her?
Yeah.
That's what happened. You ain't gonna talk to her, whatever. And I'm like, okay, go ahead and get the dessert.
Not only that, he was like, oh, hey, Mr. Distinguished, you ain't gonna talk to her?
Yeah.
You ain't gonna... And then y'all kind of left him.
Yeah. I think he was just still there talking to somebody or whatever.
Some random person.
Yeah.
And let me just say this. Johnny does that a lot.
A lot.
Don't matter where we go.
And the person that he usually talking to sometimes be confused and don't
know what he's talking about. Like, where's the conversation coming from?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we get into the main dining facility. And we go up to where they usually have the host and hostess.
Absolutely.
Getting ready to sit the people.
Right.
So we inquire, me and Lo, Alex, just Alex's husband, like, where is the place where you pick up the to-go orders or whatever, the to-go desserts? Meanwhile, Johnny is now right behind us, and he hears us ask the hostess or whatever, where is this place at? And so me and Lo were like, okay, it's over there. Boom. So we went back to where we were at the first time.
Right.
We look behind us, and Johnny nowhere behind us. Gone. Or whatever. And so we pick up the desserts. We picked up Johnny's and Susie's dessert as well, too.
Right.
And we were like, where's Johnny? Or whatever. And so we tried to, backtrack to see where he might have went to. Well, let me go back. I clearly hear him ask, as we were leaving the main dining facility, the same question that we asked the hostess.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so we get back into the main dining, and we just see Johnny in this random line. And we're like, John, what are you doing over here? They were like, this is where they told me to go. And I was like, it couldn't have been, because they told us, we asked the same person. They told us to go over here, right?
He was lost.
Mm-hmm. And we were like, you know what? That hostess probably didn't understand what he was asking.
I'm sure.
He didn't. So they just go over there. That's the line right over there.
Bruh not speaking English.
So we get back to the vehicle.
Right.
And Alice looks at my face, and looks at Lo's face, and she already knows something went down.
Listen, Let me tell you something about me and Mr. Distinguished. When it comes to things and people, we can go into a restaurant or we can be around somebody we already know something's wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that. And I mean, I'm not boasting.
It's not a boasting thing.
It's not a big head. I'm just telling you what we can see. We can tell you if we're going to have a good experience at a restaurant or if this person is really loco.
Yes.
And let me just say, Johnny is loco.
So we get back in the vehicle. We're headed back to our hometown.
Yes.
And we get back to and they complained the whole way.
The whole time.
They complained the whole way up
the
there.
The price, the money, just too much.
The way I drive.
Yes.
Everything was just not.
Everything was wrong. Mm-hmm. And then they get back and they say, oh, we had a good time.
Had a lovely time. We should do this again.
Let's do it again. I was immediately at the no. I was at no. But you know what?
That's not the last time.
And it is not.
Something happened because we had another outing.
We did, y'all.
But you know what? We're going to leave that for part 2.
We are.
So
you're going to love it.
Yes, you're going to love it because it gets even more crazier after this.
It does. It does.
So we invite you out this Monday, if you can.
Ooh,
at 6 p.m. Facebook Live.
Yes.
We want to invite you to the conversation.
We
and
do.
If you have anything you want to say or add on, then you will have the opportunity to do so. Can you wait, Alex?
I cannot wait. Listen, we got this. Oh, it's so juicy, y'all.
It's juicy. You do not want to miss this.
You want to be involved in this.
So this Monday at 6 p.m.
6
Facebook Live.
We're going to be live, y'all.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of Everyday Living in the Valley, guys. We hope that you enjoyed yourselves.
If you would like some relationship advice or if you have a dream that you would like us to interpret, go to truevibes.net.
Until next time, guys, on Everyday Living in the Valley.
Living in the Valley.
This has been a True Vibes Entertainment production. For more information on what's going on in the Valley and more, visit our website at truevibes.net. That's true as in TRU, the word vibes.net.